So today we're going to talk about how to create sidechain effects. Sidechaining is a very popular technique amongst electronic musicians and kind of across the board with music that's coming out these days. And the sidechain sound is that pumping volume, or whatever instrument is sidechained to the kick will duck. However, in a live setting, it's not always possible to get a feed from the kick drum and to have your own personal compressor to trigger sidechain compression. So there's a few ways to simulate this sound. So right here I have just like a regular sawtooth wave. I want to simulate that the kick drum is hitting a compressor and ducking the volume all the way down and then having the release time bring the volume back up. A really simple way to do that is actually just to adjust the attack on your loudness envelope. So I'm going to crank that up a little bit and check this out. So the tempo was even slower. We could increase the attack so the amount of time it takes for the volume to come back is longer. So what's useful about it is that in a live situation, this is not tied to a BPM. It's literally whenever you hit the note, and if you're in sync with your drummer, this will allow you to simulate that sidechain sound in a very real way, in a very musical way. This is a technique I use a lot when I'm on the bandstand, and it's a live situation, and we want to achieve that sound. And of course, because you're only adjusting the attack, all the other parameters on the synth are still adjustable. So, you could So right there, I just quickly turned the attack all the way to 0 as if I was disengaging my sidechain. If you practice this technique, you'll see where on your attack knob approximates certain tempos. Like I know that right around noon is going to give me a medium tempo, and I know that 9 o'clock is much slower, or maybe around 10 o'clock. It's giving me that quick sidechain sound, and around 2 o'clock, that's where it starts getting longer. So let's talk about another way to achieve the sidechain effect, and this is actually more useful if you are doing sequencing in your studio or you're playing to a click track. What we're going to do now is we're going to use the LFO to create the sidechain. So the first thing you're going to want to do is turn the amount of your loudness envelope all the way down. Secondly, we're going to change the LFO to sawtooth, and that's going to give us basically a ramp up, which is going to simulate that sidechain compression. We're going to sync the LFO, and we are going to put it on quarter notes. And now we're going to tell the LFO to send this information to our loudness envelope. We're going to turn the initial amount all the way up so that it's going to sound like this. And there you go. So if you wanted to change the tempo, you can just go up here. So the song was faster. Say it was a lot slower, you can go all the way down to let's try 60. And obviously you can sync this master clock with your DAW's master clock. So that's doing the sidechain with volume. We could actually also do it with the filter. So we could have the filter open up as if it were also triggered with the sidechain. So let's do that right now. We're going to map it to the filter frequency, and now we're going to turn the frequency all the way down. Let's listen to that. Let's turn it back up to 80. Oh, and be careful. You definitely want to turn your loudness envelope back up, otherwise you won't hear anything. That's two ways to create the sidechain effect with your sequential synthesizers. See you next time.